Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we will tell you about the history of caucus in this video. Definition and usage. A caucus generally refers to a meeting of members of a political party or group. This is the most common and broad usage. These meetings are held to nominate candidates. This is particularly relevant in the U.S. presidential election process, where some states use caucuses, like the famous Iowa caucuses, to select delegates who are pledged to a particular candidate for the national convention. Plan policy and strategy. Members discuss political issues, develop legislative agendas, and coordinate their efforts. Elect leaders. Within a legislative body, party members might caucus to choose their leaders, e.g., Speaker of the House, Majority Leader. Discuss shared interests. This applies to specialized groups within a legislature, such as the Congressional Black Caucus or the Women's Caucus, which unite members around specific demographic or ideological goals.
While caucus is definitively an Americanism, its origin is debated. Here are the leading theories. When most people hear the word caucus, their minds immediately jump to one place: Iowa. And for good reason. The Iowa caucuses are arguably the most famous and, for a time, the most influential caucuses in the entire U.S. political landscape. Held typically in early February, they're the very first major test of a presidential candidate's viability. So, how do they actually work? Imagine yourself in a high school gym in Des Moines. Supporters for different candidates gather in designated areas. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of lobbying, as people try to convince their neighbors to switch allegiances. There's often a viability threshold. If a candidate doesn't have enough supporters, those individuals then have to realign and choose another candidate. It can be a very fluid, dynamic, and sometimes chaotic process. Once the final alignments are made, the number of supporters for each candidate is tallied, and those numbers are used to determine how many delegates each candidate gets at the county, district, and eventually, the national conventions. The Iowa caucuses matter immensely because they set the initial narrative for the presidential race. A strong showing can give a candidate crucial momentum, media attention, and fundraising boosts, while a poor showing can quickly end a campaign. While Iowa is the most prominent, other states, like Nevada, also use caucuses in their presidential nomination process, though the specific rules and procedures can vary significantly from state to state. Caucuses. Beyond the presidential race, legislative caucuses. But the influence of caucuses extends far beyond the drama of presidential nominations. They are a fundamental part of how political parties organize and operate, especially within legislative bodies like the U.S. Congress or state legislatures. Here, we see the concept of a caucus used in a slightly different but equally important way. Within the U.S. Congress, for instance, members of the same political party form what are officially known as the Democratic Caucus and the Republican Conference. These are regular, closed-door meetings where party members discuss their legislative priorities, strategize on upcoming votes, and elect their leadership. Think the Speaker of the House or the Majority Leader. These internal caucuses are where the party's agenda is often shaped and where discipline is maintained. Beyond these broad party caucuses, there's a fascinating world of special interest caucuses. These groups bring together members of Congress, sometimes from both parties, who share a common interest, a demographic background, or a specific policy goal. We have the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Women's Caucus, the Climate Change Caucus, even the Congressional Hockey Caucus. These groups serve as platforms for members to advocate for specific legislation, raise awareness about particular issues, and build coalitions to advance their shared objectives. They are crucial for amplifying voices and shaping policy in a highly fragmented political system. Conclusion. So, as you can see, the caucus, far from being a mysterious, obscure term, is actually a multifaceted. Thanks for watching, and until next time.